Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 475. We're up to the third sequel in the Mission Impossible franchise. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Now, Nate, did you see? Now, you said last episode that this is the movie you started watching Mission Impossible in the theater, right?
Correct. Yes, This was the first one I saw at the theater. I remember I was at a friend's house. I don't know, it was a birthday party, and I'm sorry if I sound crazy. Like, I have had a cold for like 2 weeks, so I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
But anyway, I was at a friend's house, and I don't know, it was a birthday party or something, and then after, we all went as a big group to the movies, and this was what we saw. And from this one on, I saw all the rest of them at the theater. But actually, I might have seen this. I think I said this too. I think I saw this one before even seeing part two, or maybe part one. Like, I went back and watched those.
Right.
But this franchise kind of works. Like, you don't really have to have seen the first two to watch this movie. It works as a standalone movie.
You're right on that. Well, we'll talk about it more when we break it down. But yeah, absolutely. You really do not. I mean, technically, all of them, you really do not need to.
The first three are like individual films that really have nothing to do with the other ones.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that. All right, for myself, this is the one that I got to see in the theater. Me and my wife went to see it at the time. Well, we were not together like that, but yeah, we were dating, and this was one of the movies we went out. And I remember enjoying it. I remember a lot of people came out of the theater and were like, wow, this is actually a really good movie. I remember it was packed. Now, box office wise, I mean, there's nothing you can do about these movies, man. $150 million budget, right? You go, okay. Yeah. Worldwide, $398 million. Now, again, so this is where I'm still weirded out. Domestic was only $134 million. International was $264, right? So you're going, oh yeah. But then if you were, I don't know. I personally feel like Mission Impossible 2 screwed up the entire franchise. And I'm not talking about going from part 4 on. I'm talking about this. It hurt this sequel, part 3, because the budget for part 2, which I have the numbers here, are $125 million, right? And it grows $546 million for Mission Impossible 2, while domestic was $215 million, $330 international. But then when you look at part 3, people were like, man, that John Woo thing was so bad, I'm not going back to the theater. But you could see the numbers got hit because it lost close to like $150-ish million hit. So it's 398 total. So Nate, what do you think of these numbers?
I mean, I think you're right. I agree. I think 2, even though it made a lot of money, it was not well received. Like, it's not like a well-loved movie. Right. And if you remember the Rotten Tomatoes score, like the audience score was like 42, which is low. It's not good. So that just tells you that regular, normal ticket paying customers, most of them didn't like that movie. And I think when you're coming off of, even if it's a successful movie, when you're coming off of something that's not like super well liked, it makes people leery to spend their money on the next one. Now, this still ended up turning a profit, obviously, because there are 5 more after this. So it's not as if, this was like 2 is a franchise killer, because they would go on. But I think this was kind of a resetter for the franchise as far as that goes. Where it's like, okay, you know what? And we'll get into it when we go to the numbers, but this one was more well received, and it still made enough that the next few kind of build on that. So I think you're right. This one was hurt by 2, but then kind of helped the rest as far as, what they're going to be making. No,
you're right. I think J.J. Abrams reimagined Mission Impossible. Like, he totally flipped this franchise upside down. Yeah. Like, it's totally different from 1 and 2. It felt like a real action movie, like a real spy action movie, where the other ones didn't feel like that. This one now feels like what you're going to see going down the line. Like, J.J. Abrams really set the pole, the action pole on this one.
I think, and again, this is not part of the review, but like one thing that this movie does is it really takes the sort of spy, like suspense style from the first movie. There are scenes, which we'll get more in depth, that have that. And then the action, which the second movie is, even though there's not a ton of action, like it has big action in that second half, like we talked about. And it takes that, but it spreads it throughout the movie rather than just the last 40 minutes.
Right.
And this kind of created a template for at least the next 2, maybe 3, where this is kind of how they all start to function, right? Like you have a mix of big like action set pieces, but then still the little IMF espionage spy stuff. So yeah, I think you're right. As a rebooter of franchises, J.J. Abrams, in my opinion, is 3 for 3 with his movies. From Star Trek, Star Wars, Force Awakens, and I'm not saying about what happened after. I'm just saying like his movie when he relaunched it, all successful. All 3 worked. And so, maybe he has a gift for that. Taking something that's like, we don't know.
He's like the modern Martin Campbell for 007, right? Because every Martin Campbell movie that does 00, he introduces 007. They're all amazing. Everyone loves him because
they need to call him up for whoever they need to next.
Call him up.
He started Brosnan. He started Craig. Let's see.
Yeah, let's check out the critics and audience.
Rotten Tomato scores, they're up from the last movie. Still not where they'll get. They'll get higher, but this one was a plus 15% increase from the last one critically. This has a 73%. So the last one was a 58.
Yeah.
73. We're good. And then with the audience, very close, a 70% audience score, but that's a 28% jump from the last movie. So very much more liked by audiences, more liked by critics. This one more well received.
Yeah, so it's weird because you do see that people did enjoy it. I personally believe part 2 left a bad taste in people's mouths. You can see it in the numbers. People did enjoy the movie way more than part 2, but it's just people didn't go to the theater. Now, it could also be, and I'm going to check because now I'm thinking about it. It could also came out in May 3rd of 2006. Mission Impossible is known to come out with big other IPs during the same time that hurt them. So
Paramount just loves to pair this next to some other movie that's doing well for some reason. They've done it, I think, for like 3 or 4 of them where they come out either the week after something else good or just the week before where the audience will come out, they'll lose it, or even the same week sometimes.
I knew it.
What came out? It's a Spider-Man movie or something like that.
I knew it. But I knew it. Golly, I knew it. Okay. I mean, we don't do this, but we have to because this is a big franchise. And Mission Impossible known for this. May 5th, 2006, Mission Impossible 3 came out. The same day, An American Haunting came out. May 5th, 2006. Now, a lot of people do like horror. Yeah. So they might choose that over that compared because of Mission Impossible 2. You don't know. Anyway, May 12th, The Poseidon, which was the remake.
Yeah.
Yes, the boat movie. May 19th, The Da Vinci Code with Tom Hanks.
And that was a huge hit.
That was a big hit. Now, another horror movie, May 19th, See No Evil.
With King?
And last but not least, May 26th, and I think this is where this is where they put the knife in the heart of Mission Impossible box office. X-Men: The Last Stand,
which was also a big hit.
It was a big hit. So you got X-Men and you got American Haunting, Poseidon, and the Da Vinci Code in the same month.
I'll be honest, the Da Vinci Code has the same target audience as Mission Impossible. Honestly, like adults.
Yeah,
not, that was probably the killer. That would have given this a 2-week window.
2 weeks.
Really, and the Da Vinci Code's an international movie as well. It's like in the Vatican. It's like probably made a lot of money overseas. So Sony. That's a Sony movie. that had to be. That's a good point. I mean, it still did well for really only having 2 weeks to itself. But you're right. It's always close to something else. It needs to come out like in April.
It should have came out in January.
Or February. Nothing comes out in February. Like, yeah, it's Paramount. I don't know. Paramount loves this franchise and hates it.
Well, you know what? Now going forward, we're going to look at the month it comes out and we're going to see what comes out with it. Because I really want to know, because me and you always wrapped our head around, like, why does this movie never cross $1 billion in the box office?
Right.
And it's because they release with big box office movies on the same month or like a week apart. But anyway, all right. With that said, let's get right into the main review. Yeah. We got a brand new Agents.
Yeah.
Maggie Q. This is when they introduced Benji, right? You got Rick Rames.
Rick
got
Rames coming back.
Yeah, Rick Rames is back. And then you got Jonathan Myers. He's a new character. Yep. And then, of course, Tom Cruise reprises his role. And Lawrence Fishburne replaces Anthony Hopkins as the... I still got tight, though. I kind of miss Anthony Hopkins. But anyway, he still played the same character. But anyway, with that said, Nate, take it away. What did you think of this cast?
All right. I love the cast. I actually really like the cast in this. I like their dynamic. I think they worked. I think Jonathan Rhys Meyers is like the way better version of that forgettable guy from Part 2. The guy that nobody knows. The guy with the accent. Yeah. He's way better. He's younger, good looking, good. I even like his little dynamic with Maggie Q. I like the part where she's like doing the little prayer. He's like, teach me the prayer because we need he's likable. You know what I mean? He's likable. She's gorgeous. I've always loved Maggie Q. No problem with her. She would go on to play some action movies and action shows like Nikita and things like that. So she's great. Good choice. This was the one, again, when you're talking about a template, this is the one where they start with the woman, like the very beautiful woman agent that also works with them. It started here. It's not Part 2 because she's not an agent. Tandy Newton's not an agent. And in Part 1, they're there, but not really. This one, you have Maggie Q. Then the next one will have Paula Patton. Then the next one will have Rebecca Ferguson. And then, you know what I mean? Like it kind of goes from there. But I love her. Ving Rhames, reliable. The guy is, every time he does his job, you could see him and Ethan Hunt now that they've been together longer, have a more of a dynamic. They talk about outside of work stuff, like the girl, he's talking about the fiance and all this. Great. No problems there. I like Lawrence Fishburne. You're right. Anthony Hopkins was great. It would have been great to see him back. But if you're going to replace him, you could do worse than Lawrence Fishburne. He has the authority. When he talks, he sounds like a dad scolding you. You know what I mean? Like when he's like, I don't care about your dumb, like Billy Crudup, when he's like saying, he's like, did you just throw a title at me? Like
oh yeah, well he's briefing them. Yeah.
Like, I don't care who your daddy is, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, I would have felt like I was punished right then. So I like him. Now to our man, Ethan Hunt. He took a dip last movie. Not gonna lie. He took a dip because they tried to make him into James Bond. This is way better, Ethan Hunt. Way better. Now, I refrain from giving him a 5 because I don't know what it is. Now that we're rewatching these in order, there's something about this character that just doesn't fully connect with me. And I think this movie does the best out of the first 3 because they give him this love interest that feels way more natural than them forcing the thief, him and they don't even talk about what happened to her. At the end of the movie, they go, they're together and they go on vacation in Australia. And then all of a sudden this movie opens and he's got a fiance who none of us have ever seen before, because it feels more natural than forcing him in with the other one. It does add a good layer to him where it's like, okay, here's something outside of work. I feel like all you get is IMF Ethan Hunt in the first 2 movies. That's it. Yeah. And here you get a little bit of the outside. So I bumped it back up to a 4. I think he's very good. However, with that said, it's always something arm's length with him. He never feels fully fleshed out to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that is. But unlike James Bond, James Bond is similar, except he's exponentially cooler than Ethan Hunt. So you could give him like a 5 in certain movies. Whereas here, it's tough. And I'm not saying he won't get one at some point, but for me, I'm still not at a 5 yet. I give him a strong 4. I really like him in this, and I like the dynamic of the love interest. It adds a lot of layers to him that were not there in the first 2.
So, I agree. I gave him a 4 too. And this is why me and you on the same wavelength when it came to this character. In terms of the team is phenomenal. They're 5s. Yep. Way better than the other guys.
Yep.
Way better. Lawrence Fishburne, you're absolutely right. Before I get to Ethan, I just want to break them down quick. I think the team is, all of them, great. You're right. The sex appeal in terms of the female kicked in here, which you're absolutely right. When it comes to Lawrence Fishburne, you're right. While I do miss Anthony Hopkins' character in the film, I think this one is way better. Like, you're right. He is very very bossy. Like, I'm not your friend. Like, this is what we got to do. And my other part, that part was funny. My other part is he's like invisible ghost. I mean, like the Invisible Man. And I'm not talking about Orson Welles' version. We know he's better. And then he said the other guy, he goes, just in case you want to be a smartass and cut me off and tell me that Orson Welles is the. Like he named the 2 actors that played the Invisible Man. Yeah. And I was like, wow. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. Like, he knows this is the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's cool. So yeah, Lawrence Fishburne was really well. He reminded me of M, like the original M. from 007. Not Judi Dench version. I'm talking about like the original. I think his Bernard Lee is the original actor that played him for like mad movies. He reminded me of him, but more cutthroat, like person. Now, when it comes to Tom Cruise, you're right. While he is 100 times upgraded, the reason I gave him a 4 because I feel like this movie is a number 1 for me, and this is what I mean. While Mission Impossible 1 and 2 is 1 and 2 because this is titled 1 and 2, I feel like those are expansions of Mission Impossible. I feel like this is the foundation of where we're going. And I feel like this is where everything started with the character. Because, I mean, once we go down the road, the character's the same. He's going to get different layers, but it's not the same Ethan Hunt from 2 and 1. That guy is more of the spy, mystery, murder mystery style of character. While this is the one that everyone's going to fall in love with. I do agree with you. This is, to me, is the number 1 version. And you're right. Giving him the human element of the wife, get to see why agents do not get married, because if they do, the bad guys are going to find out and use him as a weakness. You're going to get to see that. We're going to talk about that. But I liked him. I thought he was really good. I liked him a lot. I love the beginning sequence when he's he's enjoying his marriage party or whatever the hell it is, his engagement party.
Yeah.
I loved it because he's just down to earth and all the females are Google Gaga over him and he's reading their lips. Like when they're talking about the lake, he's like, Lake
Wanananka, whatever.
Yeah, Wanananka, yeah. And she's like, how the hell did he hear that? And he's laughing because he's using his skills. I love that. And that's the thing I always like about spy movies, when they at least give you a little like 10-minute scene of him being normal, because we know Spy is not normal. So I like that a lot. And you're right. Luther and him, that's where that relationship continues to blossom. I love when he's putting on the mask on him and he goes, let me tell you about marriage. He goes, it's not a good idea. He goes, well, we just got married 2 days ago. He goes, oh, congratulations. He's giving him like mad marital advice. And then I thought it was funny. But yeah, for me, that's a 4. I totally agree with you. There will be a 5. I agree with you. There is going to be a 5 in one of these movies. I just feel like, to me personally, this is the number 1 of it. And I just want to see a little bit more added to the character development side. That's just me. All right, I agree with you. 4-4. Main villain now is Philip Seymour Hoffman as Owen Davian. Yeah, Owen Davian.
And also Billy Crudup as the... Okay, Billy Crudup.
Oh, Musgrave. And I like Billy Crudup
as an actor. He's good. I like him.
Yeah.
Okay. This went a little different than I thought when I started watching this. Because I remember, I'm like, oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman, this guy, amazing in this movie. Right? And he is. Don't get me wrong. Performance.
Right.
I love the way he talks. So monotone. He's like, except for that one part where he's yelling with the gun.
Oh, yeah.
But besides that, besides that, he just talks like this the whole time. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have a wife? I'm going to find her. I'm going to hurt her. Then I'm going to make her scream. Then I'm going to shoot her. It's like, okay. I love it, though. I love it. It's a choice, but it works. I'm torn here because I thought in my head, I'm like, this is 5. I know it's but you know what? Now that I've rewatched it as a grown man, because this movie came out 20 years ago, which means I was like 19 when it came out. So it was a different Nate. It was a different Nate. You know, I didn't do any podcasts back then. I didn't watch 475 action movies. You know, it's different. And I thought he was very good, but not a 5. I gave him a 4. Now, there's reasons. Number 1, off screen, way more than I remember. I thought he was in this more than when I rewatched it now. Love the opening scene. Love that it shows something that's going to happen later. But the intensity, you're like, oh, this guy's bad. Then he's gone for a while. Then it's just a bit, the typical, this is the guy, he's an arms dealer. He helps black market, get weapons, whatever. So, okay, cool, fine. I'll give him an extra point for not being in the IMF, because the first 2 movies, both of the main villains were like IMF people, right? You had John Voight, and then you had not Wolverine, who was like, they used sometimes, he was like a double for Ethan Hunt, blah, 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 so he worked with them. So they were internal villains. This one's a straight up arms dealer guy.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. Then he's gone for a while. Then he comes back. He gets kidnapped. They double him. Great scene. Then he's threatening him. Whatever. I think from then on, like the second half of the movie, he has more of a presence and he's great. The reason I put the villain category lower is Billy Crudup. Because we couldn't escape this movie. And this is why this affected my kind of a whole thing with this movie. We can't escape. Why is every one of these an IMF guy got to be a villain? I don't understand. In the first one, John Voight. In the second one, that guy. Now Billy Crudup. He's like a higher up. He's up above Ethan, but below Lawrence Fishburne's character. He's like his handler kind of guy. His motivations are gray at best. He's like, well, why do we just, if we work with him, we could get the bigger fish. But yet they're not catching all these other people who are doing all this other stuff anyway. Then they even downgrade Philip Seymour Hoffman in my eyes because I don't even remember this line, but they're talking and he's like, Davian Blow. He's like, this guy's a weed. He's not even really, we get rid of him. 2 more pop up. They even make him less cool because they talk about how he's kind of just a middleman.
Yeah.
And I think that hurts to me in my head immediately. It hurt the character that Philip Seymour Hoffman was playing. His performance is a 5 out of 5. I love him. I think he's great. I love when he's fighting. He beats up Ethan Hunt. Sure. It's because he has a brain thing and he can't but still good fight. And then Ethan Hunt, I start doing this. These elbows like this. He does the ab workout Batman punches. Yeah, he starts elbowing him. And he dies so unceremoniously. Like they roll in the street and he gets hit by a truck. It's like, okay, well, so there's lots of little things that made me lower it. I think he's almost amazing, but I think the script makes you be like, well, I guess he's not that impressive if he's just some guy they're using to get to other guys. And then Billy Crudup, he's fine, but it's like, he gets shot by the wife who never even shot a gun in her life. Tom Cruise explaining, I guess this goes into whatever. He's explaining to her how to use a gun. He's like, you gotta do the slide, you cock it. And she never touched one. She kills 2 bad guys. And it's like, okay, including one of the main bad guys. So that hurt him too. Like you got killed by the wife of the main guy who's never shot a gun. Not impressive. I give him a 4. I think still the villains here are the best of these first 3 movies, but it's not a 5 for me. To me, I thought it was going to be. It's not.
All right. It's weird. You know why? Because it's weird because when I was watching this movie, I was there with you. I was like, damn, this dude, I remember this dude being more like diabolical. Like, and I remember, you're right, he was yelling. And I remember watching it, I'm going, man, this dude has to be one of the best villains in the entire series. And you're right, rewatching it, I'm like, wait a minute. And that's the crazy thing. Okay, in terms of character, it's very well developed. I mean, very well developed character. In terms of how he plays out in the story, he reminded me an upgraded version of Dominic Green from Quantum of Solace. We don't like that guy. Yeah, like Dominic Green was horrible. Yeah. But this one, he's like semi-similar to that version character. Of that, maybe? Yeah, 100 times better version because he actually fought the hero and whooped his ass where Dominic Green couldn't even survive fighting 007. He whooped his ass 2 seconds. So, yes. I did enjoy Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think he's a phenomenal actor. He did a great job. I love the way he spoke. He spoke like a rich, you can't do shit to me type of person. And it's true. They couldn't. And I love the scene in the plane. He was like, what's your name? Because when I find out who's your wife and girlfriend is, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hurt her real bad.
That scene is great.
And Luther's the one who screwed up the whole thing.
He's getting more upset. He's like, it looks like he's going to cry. He's getting pissed off. And he's like, I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to shoot her in the head. And I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah. I want you to see what I'm going to do to her. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. And Luther's the one that spills his name out. Ethan, no. And he can't hear him and he heard him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he's like, stupid Luther.
Ethan. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. I did the same thing. Yeah. And I seen this movie like, a lot of times. And the same scene, I'm just like, what the hell, Luther? Yeah. He's like, oh, one thing we're going to know is, he says, he's like, you're not going to know where the stuff is. And then slow motion, Ethan. And I was like, oh, man, you're screwed. Yep. Yeah. I personally think as an actor, he was amazing. He was amazing, but as I like the character. You're right. The way he died was kind of whack, but he did a lot of stuff that we always wanted in our checklist, right? He fought the hero. He had a great plan. with the rabbit's foot or whatever. But at the end, the hero, does his thing. So I give him a 4 too. I agree. A 4 is, I don't think he's the best. If he was here for like another 20 minutes on screen, he would have got the 5.
I agree.
He would have got the 5.
You're so
I would have been like, that's cool.
And Crudup ruins him a little bit by talking bad about him, by making him sound like he's not a big deal. It's like, well, if he's not a big deal, then why am I like worried about him really?
And you're right. I don't like that whole double agent shit. Like, I get tired of it. And that's another thing. This franchise is known for double agents, mask, and high stunts. While 007 doesn't have double agents. Like, they have actual storylines. Like, for all 26 movies, you do have double agents in some of them, but not all the time. This one repeated it 3 times already. And you're right. It just kind of get tired. So, with that said, we got 4 across the board here. Action sequences.
5. I gave it a 5. This was the start of what we're going to be seeing moving forward in this franchise, action-wise. Big stunts, people on buildings, people hanging out of cars, great stunt work, big explosions, long set pieces. It's all here. It all starts with this one. Real quick, the building, the rescue scene where they go rescue Kerry Russell is a standout scene, very memorable. In the warehouse, a lot of shooting, a lot of explosions, running, helicopter chase. When do you get a helicopter chase? Not very common. I don't know a ton of helicopter chase movies, but this one got one. Fun. Then you get the bridge scene. Amazing with the drone, with the rockets. They're shooting and jumping and sliding and great. You get the Shanghai scene where he's on the building. And that's another very memorable scene where he jumps off. He has to swing across to the other building and he's sliding down and the parachute. And they added some humor into that one, which I like, where he's like laying on the table and then the wind like takes the parachute and he's like punching. And then another scene that is very good. And I remember the trailer. The trailer had the shot from there where the car comes up and he puts his hand up and he gets hit like by the car. That was like one of the little shots in the trailer, make it look like he was really going to die there. And it turns out it's his partner. And then you have, of course, the finale in China. We got running. They filmed Tom Cruise run for like 15 seconds uncut. He just like sprint and we'll film you. And this guy's running. He looks like he's running 140 miles per hour through this little, like, in front of this little building. And I'm like, oh, there's going to be an edit. Nope. He's just running and running and running. He had to be tired after that scene. I don't care. I know he's in good shape. Had to be tired. But we get hand to hand. We get shooting. We get explosions. Love it. I love when he's hanging out of the car at that one part and he's shooting when he's hanging out of the car. Great. J.J. Abrams knows how to shoot an action scene. I don't care. I gave it a 5. I thought it was great.
Oh no, I mean this is a hands down 5. I mean this is where the action got to where we're going. I mean it gets elevated each movie. I mean there's no surprise there. But J.J. Abrams, look, he started off with that Atlas TV show with Jennifer Garner, that spy TV show.
Alias.
That's my joint, Alias. I said Atlas.
And Felicity. Felicity was his first show. That's why Kerry Russell always pops up in his stuff.
Yeah, so you got Felicity, you got that one, Alias, which I liked a lot. I thought the first 2 seasons were good, but then it got bad. I mean, but Jennifer Gardner was great. I like her as an action star. I don't even know why he never used her in a mission. Like, she could have been cool in this movie.
Yeah, it's weird. Kerry Russell is always in his movies, even if it's a small role. Yeah. Where's Jennifer Garner? What's going on?
Yeah, you're right, because I mean, like, she's known for action. So I think yes, she should have been Maggie Q's character.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude, everybody would have loved it.
She would have had a bigger role if she had. That's probably why they didn't. They're like, small part.
But she should have been an agent. I mean, at the end of the day, she should have been. You know what? Looking forward to it. Why didn't I even ask her or Mia Djokovic or whatever her name is?
Maggie Q was a good choice, but like Jennifer Garner would have been cool to be in this movie, or even as the wife. She has a bit. I mean, Michelle Monaghan has a lot of scenes.
Well, you know why? Because then a lot of people are like, well, she knows how to fight, and she knows how to use the gun.
It would make more sense when she starts killing people.
Well, that's true. But anyway, my favorite scene in the entire movie is the bridge scene, dude. When they get to that bridge, when that drone hits the car with the missile and he gets launched into the car, I was like, oh my God, I would have been like, I gotta get up. Why do I gotta get up? That scene is really dope. I love the beginning scene when he sets up the big machine guns outside and is like tearing up the walls, like big 50 calibers, like poof, poof, poof. And he's like, go Ethan. And you see like bullets flying. I think that's a really dope scene. Shanghai scene, I think we see better down the line. So I was like, I'm okay with it. It is a fun scene. But yeah, I think that bridge scene is the best, dude. And the hand-to-hand fight is pretty dope when he does put the thing in his head, though. But I kind of like it, though. It makes him, because he would have did the Steven Seagal and Tommy Lee Jones. He would have whooped them in 2 seconds.
Right, exactly.
It kind of makes sense. Made him a little bit invulnerable and then just whoop that ass. I kind of liked it. But yeah, overall, this is way better. I know I'm going to say it. People are going to laugh. But this was way better action than part 2. And that's John Woo doing that one. So I did enjoy this one. And J.J. Abrams should do more action movies. He does. I don't even know what was the last movie he did, to be honest with you. I don't watch much of his films.
Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, that was a piece of shit. But yeah, I guess. All right.
But the action was good in that movie. It was
no, the action was great.
Yeah, it's everything else. That was
everything around it was like, ugh. But anyway, all right, 5 across the board here, storyline.
Okay, I gave it a 4. I think it's very good. I'll tell you what, I've already touched on my problems. It has too much similar things. Here we go. We got it. Okay. I want to recant something I said. Billy Crudup is sort of a villain. He is still working for IMF. He has not gone like rogue. But he's doing shady stuff in order to try and capture, a bigger fish. But still, why can't we just have good guys that are good, bad guys that are bad? This franchise keeps going to this well. So I deducted a little bit there. Also, the everything else I thought was very good. That was really my main gripe. It's like, some of this, it's a little familiar. I do like how they finally show how these masks work. The second movie was mask overkill. The first movie used it, but didn't really explain it. Here, like, you actually see one get made. You see them putting it on, which was a great scene, by the way, to go from that weird looking mask to it actually being Philip Seymour Hoffman, like right on screen. Great scene. They show how the voice thing works, where they got to get the guy to, which they never did. So it's like, well, then how the heck did they do it in the first movies if the guy didn't read the card? But I like how they showed it, because now moving forward, you don't need to like worry about that. You're like, oh, I know how it works. So I thought that was cool. I like Lawrence Fishburne again. I like the spy stuff in this, or not spy stuff. The spy stuff where it's like, here's what this guy is. Here's what he's doing. There is a MacGuffin, obviously, the rabbit's foot. And they know because they don't even never tell you what it is. Even at the end, he's like, what is it? He's like, I'll tell you if you stay around. He's like, I'm leaving. He's like, well, then none of us will ever know what the stupid rabbit's foot is. And so, yeah, it's interesting in that way, but it's a MacGuffin. It means ultimately in this story, it's meaningless. It's just a thing people are going after. So, to me, not that it's weak writing, but it's always pretty basic. Other than that, I thought it was good. Like the camaraderie. This is a far superior storyline to part 2. This feels like a spy movie, a good plot. They're not chasing after medicine like in the last one, like a virus. It's not contained. It's big. They go to Vatican. They go to Shanghai. They go all around the world. So I really liked it, but I still have some minor gripes. So I gave it a 4.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 also. You said everything. It's a MacGuffin, which, all these spy movies got MacGuffins, but it is a MacGuffin. I just hate the same tropes. I think this problem had the same as 1 and 2. So for me, I just felt like, but it's done way better than 1 and 2, which is a plus for me. But at the end of the day, I was just like, okay, there's nothing new, nothing fresh for me to go, wow. But at the end of the day, it did feel like a newer film versus the other two. And while this is a number 3, this is better than the original and better than the second sequel. So it's kind of rare when you get a number 3 better than the first 2. This is one of them. I think this one, like I said before, this could feel like a number 1, and I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. So yeah, I give it a 4. I agree with you. All the same problems was there too for me. But at the end of the day, it was a very well polished sequel for Mission Impossible. They did their great job. So overall, I gave it a 4 out of a 5. I think it's a fantastic movie. I like that. I agree with what you just said. This feels like a part 1, especially like 3 through 8 to me feel like a franchise, and 1 and 2 feel like these movies that are in it, but not really. I think, it took me a little bit because 1, it very much feels like a Brian De Palma movie. 2 very much feels like a John Woo movie. And J.J. Abrams, he doesn't have the most distinct style, but this does have the J.J. Abrams isms with the lens flare, especially in the helicopter scene. And now when the truck pulls up, you get all the lens flares. Like, oh, there he is. There's my boy, J.J. And then you get all the,
You get all his Greg Grunberg is in this. I don't know if you know Greg Grunberg. He's in all of his movies except Super 8. He's the guy at the party when he's talking about the traffic, and he's like, "This is boring," and the other ladies are like, "Oh, I'm going to marry him." He was in Star Trek as the voice on the radio that's talking to Captain Kirk when he's a kid. He was like a Starfleet guy in the second one. He was an alien in The Force Awakens. So like J.J. Abrams always puts him. He was on Alias. Remember, he was a friend.
Okay.
At work, and he was in Felicity. So like he always has his guys that he likes to bring in and use. So the J.J. Abrams-ness is there. A strong reset, even though it didn't necessarily need it. A strong reset in this franchise. We're moving forward. It sets the table. I really like it. 4.
Well, it's everything 4 for me too. I think this is at the end. This is the best version of Mission Impossible out of the 3. I like the tone. It felt very the style that you want for this type of franchise to kick off. I think in terms of action, you got the perfect amount of action, beginning, middle, and end. That's the way I liked it. I always like movies that it gradually gets better. And this one does it. Like even the first set piece of them doing they're going to get her to save her. I loved it because it was high action, but not too much.
Yep.
Then you got the bridge scene. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And then them going to infiltrate to get this guy Owens. And he had to put the mask on.
The Vatican scene is great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the Vatican scene, you have that.
Yep.
Very. Blows up the Lamborghini. Then you got the bridge when they're transporting. Another big set piece in the middle of the film. And then you got throughout the sky rise thing. And then the ending. Like, you had a lot of action in this movie. More than part 2. This was very thought out. And this is what I always like about, I like movies like this. Because it keeps you invested. While the story is great, you're in it. You're like, yeah, this is cool. The characters are driving you. But when you got that good action right on top of it, oh, it feels like a Philly cheesesteak with that cheese whiz. It just feels so good.
Yeah.
So I give it a 4 too. All right, total points.
Total for me is a 21 out of a 25. I've always liked this movie. I do have a little bit of nostalgia for it, being that it was the first one I saw, but that doesn't cloud my score. I think it's a legitimately very, very good. It always ranks high for me in the Mission Impossible franchise. So 21 out of 25.
I'm there with you. We both have the same score for part 3, 21 out of a 25. I think this is a great start, a perfect start. I think J.J. Abrams was the right person to helm this project. I would have loved, Brian De Palma, Tom Cruise is the one that chose him, I believe. I remember they were talking about it. But if J.J. started the entire franchise, I think it would have been in good hands. Sadly, this is the last one because he doesn't even direct none of those after that. But I thought he did a fantastic job. So anyway, with that said, Nate, what is coming up next on the podcast?
All right, coming up next, continuing with our Mission Impossible watch through, we are going to the 4th one, which is where they stop numbering them. So you have Mission Impossible 2, Mission Impossible 3. Now we're going to subtitles. So we have Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, directed by Brad Bird. I think it was like his first live action movie, if I'm not mistaken, or one of them. So yeah, another one I don't rewatch I don't remember the last time I saw part 4, but I remember liking it. So I'm looking forward to revisiting that one, but that will be the next episode we're going to be.
But with that said, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. And of course, you guys are watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and share your favorite episodes. And again, I'm your host, As Figueroa, and that's my co-host,
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.